Hello, I'm George, and I am going to be refuting the claim that there are no other possible ways to handle the sick and homeless animals other than euthanasia. The advocates' claims were, one, it's a hard decision, but the animals that cannot speak need an advocate to stand up for them. The second claim was that animal euthanasia can control effectively the pet population. And the third claim is that animal euthanasia can create a safer environment for us human beings. My main refutation is that there really is not much of an argument to make for this statement because there's really not much on the other side. I don't see very many people saying that there really is any other way, for if there is no more room in a homeless shelter, there really is nowhere for the animal to go but under the needle. The original claim that it's a hard decision, but the animals need advocates, I wholeheartedly agree. I don't really think that point needs to be argued. Because the animal can't speak, there really is nothing else to do but have an advocate. Because of things like the ASPCA, they take in the animals and pretty much are their advocates. The support for that is many people euthanize pets because of incurable diseases. And, well, if they're sick and needy, that's one of the only ways to go besides expensive like procedures, but if they don't work, there's really not much else to do, and that point doesn't really need to be argued. The second supporting claim was that animal euthanasia can't control the overpopulation of pets. I don't think that point really needs to be argued either, because less pets is less pet population. And the support for that claim that it controls the population is that if there's less pets, they're not going to reproduce as much, and thus they will lead to even lower population, and it'll help the pet population decrease. That point also is an obvious point statistically, because mathematically, the less pets there are, the less multiplier you'll have for more pets, which will decrease the overpopulation. And the second point, the second support for that claim is that unwanted pets were also controlled, like if, unwanted pets will also have to be put down. Like I said earlier in the main refutation, there really is no other way to go, or nowhere else for them to go, but to be put to sleep after the shelter is full and they have new animals that are coming in. If animals have been there for years and haven't been adopted, then a lot of the chances are they probably wouldn't be adopted, and they need room, so there's really nothing else for them to do but put them to sleep. The final claim, the original claim, was that animal euthanasia can create a safer environment for humans. To support this, the original claim was cow, horses, pigs carrying something like the swine flu. They can create a hazard for us humans because they carry diseases that we can get. My refutation about the argument is that that also doesn't need to be argued, because if the population of cattle, say horses, they are put to sleep because of things like diseases. So there's really not much else they can do if you don't want to make a hamburger that has E. coli in it. So if a second cattle gets infected, there's really not much else you can do but put them to sleep also. So in conclusion, I think that the main claim is absolutely true, but there's virtually no opposition to that claim, and it doesn't need to be argued very much.
All right. The strategy that you're taking is basically making a theory argument. It's an a priori argument that this precedes the issues themselves by suggesting that there's not really a dispute on this point. And I think that that's a reasonable approach to take as long as you can tell us what the criteria are for determining when we have an argument. You say there's an absence of information on the other side. Is there an absence of information because there is no data, because you didn't do research, or is it because there is no counter side to this? Nobody is advancing the alternative claim. And which of our criteria does that violate? For instance, if we use the Brock-Reedy criteria, does that mean that we are not dealing with something that is it's missing one of the 6 criteria? We're not making an inferential leap, or there isn't, there's not any uncertainty regulating this. I think that you could be a little bit more specific in the arguments that you're making. You did signpost the supporting claims pretty well, and you basically are making the same kind of issue on each of those points. I didn't always follow the analysis that you had. There's a population issue that comes up, for instance, and I got a little bit confused. It sounded at one point like you might be suggesting that this was an alternative to euthanasia, but then it seemed to be basically a self-fulfilling prophecy argument. Yeah, well, if there are fewer pets, then we'd have fewer pets. I'm not sure how that advances your position about it not being argumentative. The very clear transitions, I know it does sound redundant because you're saying the same thing in a variety of places. Like I said, I think you've got a good argument on that point, but you need to make it a little more strongly. If you can use some criteria to advance it and show how it's really just an informative speech rather than an argumentative speech, it would be a lot more convincing. All right, thank you.